To one and all, and today we want to complete the chapter measures of dispersion. The same time we want to start a new chapter, correlation. Clear? So two aspects are there for today. So in that chapter, last chapter, measures of dispersion, we want to complete only one topic, that's called the Lorentz curve. Yesterday we started how to calculate. Okay, first of all we know that if you have a set of data, we want to create a table to prepare or to draw the graph. Okay, it's a graphical representation of dispersion there basically. Clear? Basically related with the income disparities. To show the income disparities, we are using the Lorentz curve. Okay, come on, just open your textbook everyone. The last topic we are here. Okay, so I already told you that the methods to create the table. Okay, so that is page number 87. Page number 87. You can see construction of a Lorentz curve. So data are provided here. Okay, clear? Okay, now we want to calculate some more data and find it out. Okay, here income is here. We want to find out the midpoint for the first time. Next one, frequencies are here provided. Frequencies are provided. Okay, now we want to find out the total income. Total income. So steps are provided here. Steps are provided. First step, calculate the midpoints obtained to column 2. Calculate the estimated total income of the employees in each class by multiplying the midpoint of the class by the frequency of the class to get the column 4. Okay, so 5 into 2500, 12,500. Like that, we want to create the fourth column. Okay, so fourth column, the midpoint multiplied by the frequency. Okay, that's what the method to find out the fourth column here. And third point, express frequency in each class as the percentage. Clear? So what is the method to find out the percentage? We know that, right? Right or not? What is that? What method we will use to find out the percentage? Any idea? Tell me. Mathematics you studied already, right? Find out the percentage. What is the equation for that? E is divided by half into 100, right? Yes or no? What we got out of, okay, into 100, right? That's the method. Yes or no? To find out the percentage, studied in junior classes, right? No idea about that? Okay, so percentages want to calculate. Okay, want to get the percentage here. So percentage of the frequency. So 5 divided by 50 into 100, 10. Okay, 10 divided by 50 into 100, 20. 18 divided by 50 into 100, 36. Again 10 divided by 50 into 100, 20. Next 7 divided by 50 into 100, 14. Okay, so this is the method to find out the percentage of the frequencies here. Got it, right? Clear or not? Is that idea clear or not? What is that? First step, 5 divided by 50 into 100, right? This is the method to find out the percentage of the frequencies out of. Okay, the sigma f is equal to 50 here. Okay, the total it is 50. Okay, from that we have to find out the frequencies or percentage of the frequencies. You got that. So fifth column also ready. Next one, the sixth column. That is the percentages of the total income. So total income here you know that 972500, 9,72,500. Okay, so first one percentage you want to find out that. So 12,500 divided by 9,72,500 into 100. So you got 1.29. Right? Yes or no? Okay, like that you go created the sixth column also. Okay, just observe that these calculations are clear or not. All of you, just check whether all these calculations are clear or not. Fast. Randomly. A random number checking is necessary. Come on. So this is not a Himalayan task. Easily you are able to do it, right? Okay, simple calculations are there. So for Lorentz curve, first the class intervals are here. We want to find out the midpoint. Frequencies are provided in the question, and we want to find out the fourth column, that is the total income of related with the frequency. So midpoint should be multiplied by the frequency. Okay, so we got that total income. Finally, sum of that. Sum. Okay, fifth column is the percentage of the frequency. Percentage of the frequency. And sixth column is the percentage of the total income. Percentage of the total income for different classes. Classes. Clear or not? No doubt in that, right? Okay. Now we are going to the next table. Next table, it is table number 6.5. It's called to be less than cumulative frequency and income. One more table we want to prepare to draw the frequency. I mean the Lorentz curve. Clear? So one more. So we know that the income is dispersed like this here. That is 5,000 to 50,000. 5,000 to 50,000. So we are writing in a less than cumulative way here 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 50,000. Okay. Only thing we want to find out the less than that. Okay. So comparing with the table, we know that 100% of the people is less than 50,000 of income, right? 100% is less than 50,000, right or not? The total. Clear? So 100. Okay. Now from the 100 we want to reduce these datas. Okay, 100 divided by 100 minus 14. Next we got. So 40,000. Okay, so 86. So 86 percentage receives less than 40,000. Clear? Okay. Now from that 86, next data, what is here? 20. From 86 we want to reduce that 20. So we got here 66. From that 66 we want to reduce 36. So what will get? What will get? Anyway, it is not 3, it is 30, right? Yes or no? It is not 3, 30. Read that. Correct, it's 30. This is 30. Not 3, but 30. From 30 we want to reduce 10, right? Sorry, not 10. Here it is 20. 20. So we got 10 here. Clear? Got or not? The idea clear? Okay. Cumulative frequency table we are preparing now. So less than frequency already we wrote here. Okay. So income disparities, differences in the income. That is related with the 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 and 50,000. 50,000. So 100% of the people or the workers, they receive less than 100. So you know that we wrote it 100. Now we want to reduce this. Okay. This frequency is one by one from that data. Okay. It is less than. So remember less than method. Okay. So you did like this. So we got the numbers like a percentage, that is 10, 30, 66, 86 and 100. Okay, this step is clear or not? This step is clear or not? Okay. So the same method is there in the cumulative income there. Okay, clear or not? The same method is there related with the percentage of, we can see here, the total income in its percentage. Total income in its percentage. Same method. Okay, here also we know that it is 100, right? So first of all 100 minus 32.39. So we got here 67.61. Okay. That 67.61 minus 30.85. We got 36.76. From 36.76 we want to reduce 27.76. So we got here it is 9. Okay. From that 9 we want to reduce 7.21. So we got 1.29. The last data here 1.29. Clear? Yes or no? No differences. Okay, so easy to calculate. How we calculate a cumulative? Here it is frequency F, it is income here, income, cumulative income. Okay, cumulative frequency and it is cumulative income. Okay, so hope this idea is clear. Okay, next what we want to do, just to plot these numbers, digits in the graph. Okay, so coming to the graph, you are able to see, okay, here origin is here. Okay. Listen carefully. Origin. Cumulative percentage of employees, that is in the horizontal axis. Okay. Cumulative percentage of the employees, that should be in the percentage of, the horizontal axis. Percentage, cumulative percentage of employees in the horizontal axis. What are the numbers here? 10, 30. You can see 10, 30, 66, 86 and 100. Okay, we plotted that. Clear? Next one, cumulative income. So cumulative percentage of income, that should be in the vertical axis. Vertical axis. Starting from 1.29, 9, you can see the numbers here, 9, 36.76, 67.61 and 100 and 100. Clear? So two data are plotted in the vertical and horizontal axis of the graph. Clear? Now we want to start finding out these data. Okay, in the graph you have to plot those numbers there. For we know that 10 is equal to 1.29. So cumulative percentage of employees 10 and their cumulative income is 1.29. So we plotted here points. Clear? Next one, for 30 it is 9. So here 9 parallel to 9 we pointed here, plotted point B, A, B. Next one, for 66 percentage, okay, it is 36.76. So here it is 36.76. We plotted point here. Next one, you can see it is 86. For 86, the income is 67.61. 67.61. So we plotted D also. Clear? Okay. The next is the entire data. Entire, it is 100. Okay. So plotted the last point E. Clear? Now we are going to draw the line of equal distribution. That should be a straight one. Okay, a dotted straight line connecting the origin and the last point E. Connecting the origin and the last point E. Clear? Connected. Okay, now you can see the continuous line shows the Lorentz curve. This is the Lorentz curve that connecting the point A, B, C, D and E and E. The dotted line, the straight line connecting O and E, that is the line of equal distribution. Line of equal distribution. Clear? Okay. Now you are able to find, want to understand how to read this Lorentz curve. Okay. Simply you are able to observe here. So D to E. So the percentage of employees between 86 to 100, their income is 67.67 to 100. Clear? Okay, next, C group, C to D, 66 to 86, that is the cumulative percentage of employees, 66 percentage to 86, their income between 36.76 to 67.61 percentage. Clear? Okay, easily we are able to find. Next group, B to C, 30 to 66 percentage of employees, their income in between 9 percentage and 36.76 percentage of the total income. Clear? Done. Next, last group, it is between 10 and 30. Clear? It is between 1.29 and 9 percentage. So Lorentz curve clearly saying the income distribution or disparities in the distribution, deviation is clearly mentioned in this graph. Is it clear or not? Is this idea clear or not? Yes or no? Okay, and today I will send one or two homework for you people. Complete it and submit for tomorrow. Right? Clear or not? Okay, so methods are okay. So just observe it clearly one more time. Okay, what I want to do here? First off, calculate the midpoints to obtain column 2 of table number 6.4. So this is the table number 6.4 here. Next one, calculate the estimated total income of employees in each class by multiplying the midpoint of the class of the frequency to the class to obtain column number 4. So the midpoint multiplied by the frequencies here. Okay, so to get the income. Okay, next one, express the frequency in each class as the percentage. Okay, that's what the frequency here. So percentage, I already told you that. So the total frequency n is 50 here, right? Okay, n is 50, n is 50 or sigma f is 50, whatever it is. Okay, here out of the 50, 5 people, the first category, 5 divided by 50 into 100. So we got the percentage here, like 10, 20, 36, 20, 40, 14 and 100, 450. Okay. Next one, the same method we want to do for find out the total income, percentage of the total income. So the Total income here it is 9,72,500. Okay, so 12,500 for the first category. 12,500 divided by 9,72,500 multiplied by 100. So you got 1.29 like that. 7.71, 27.76, and 30.85, 32.39. Okay, this is the method. Next, another table number 6.5, less than cumulative frequency income, less than cumulative frequency income. So we know that the distribution in between 5,000 and 50,000, 5,000 and 50,000. Okay, now less than cumulative frequency you have to prepare here. Okay, less than 100 minus 86 minus 66 minus 30 minus. Okay, like that. The same method, it's not income frequency, it is a income. Same method we want to follow in a cumulative income in percentage, in a percentage. Finally, want to plot that data in the graph to prepare the the Lorentz curve. So here, studying the Lorentz curve, what method we will use to understand this Lorentz curve? O is called the line of equal distribution. We know that since it would imply a situation like top 20% people can earn 20% of total income, and the top 60% earn 60% of the total income. So by observing these lines, you are easily able to understand that. The further the curve O, A, B, C, D, E from this line, the greater is the inequality present in the distribution. If there are two or more curves on the same axis, the one which is the farthest from the line OE has the highest inequality. So not only one Lorentz curve, we want to draw to compare, we have to draw number of Lorentz curve, more than 2-3 Lorentz curve we have to draw, then only we are able to find the differences between the income. Okay, clear or not? Is that clear? Okay, this is the method to draw that. So we already reached to the conclusion of this chapter. Although range, so we know that it's a chapter measures of dispersion started from range, right? Range, mean deviation, standard deviation, and different methods to find out this standard deviation and mean deviation. Okay, using the mean method and the median method. Okay. Step deviation, assumed mean method, like that our direct method, various methods we studied already. Although range is the simplest to calculate and understand, it is unduly affected by the extreme values. We know that QD is not affected by extreme values as it is the based on only middle of 50% of the data. However, it is more difficult to interpret mean deviation and standard deviation. Both are based upon deviations of values from their average. Mean deviation calculates average of the deviation from the average but ignores signs of deviation. We know that. Okay, we only take the absolute value, no signs, clear. So standard deviation attempt to calculate average deviation from the mean, like MD, it is based on all values and is also applied in more advanced statistical problems. So statistics is an important part in economics, very important for people, those who analyzing the data. Clear or not? So economics, we know that data are compulsory, right? Not just learning the things or learning the theory. Okay, we want to interpret the data, clear or not? So for interpreting the data, first of all, we want to analyze the data. Okay, for that analyzing, these mathematical methods are too important for an economist or a person, those who keen interested in economical activities, economical studies, not activities, but studies there, right? Clear or not? Okay. So, can you say names of some economists, some famous economists from India, even those who received the Nobel Prize for economics? Any idea? How about Amartya Sen? Okay, so listen, these are the things basically from the chapter called the measures of dispersion. And Hanna, Amalraj, Anjo, Muhammad Irfan, Grishma, Shubhampal, Elvina, Annette, please turn on your cameras. Come on fast. Okay, so hope this chapter is clear. Okay, hope the screen is visible, right? The screen is okay for you? Want to increase the size or not? Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and this is our 7th chapter, correlation. Okay, correlation. Okay, here. So what is the importance of this chapter? Why we want to study the correlation? Okay, what do you mean by the name correlation? Okay, first of all, studying this chapter should enable you to understand the meaning of the term correlation. First of all, next one, understand the nature of relationship between two variables. That's what the correlation. Understanding the differences between two variables. Clear or not? And it's a relation. Calculate the different measures of correlation. Analyze and a degree and a direction of the relationships. Okay. Finally, analyzing the degree and the direction of the relationships. That's what the basic things what we are going to learn from this chapter. Correlation. Clear? Is that clear? Okay. So there are three methods are there basically. Okay. We will start with the introduction here. Okay. So in the previous chapter you have learned how to construct summary measures out of the mass of data and the changes among similar variables. Now you will learn how to examine the relationship between two variables. So now we are going to find out the differences between two variables and their relationship between each other. Clear? That's what the most important for analyzing one data. We want to understand the relationship between two different variables. Number of examples are already provided in your textbook. We will read that one by one. We will analyze it. Okay. Here, as the summer heat rises, hill stations like Ooty or Kodaikanal. Okay, hill stations, right? In Kerala, one famous hill station is there. What is that? What is the name of that hill station? Very famous one. What is that? Kerala? No idea? So, what do you understood by the term a hill station? Hill station. Basically, in summer season, people will visit such kind of areas there, right? That elevated area from the sea level, right? Like Ooty or Kodaikanal, where temperature is comparatively lesser than the other region, right? Okay, so in Kerala, what is the important hill station? Most famous one, near to our district too. Okay, let it. Find it out and tell me tomorrow, okay? So, moving forward, okay, so people will visit the hill stations, okay. Ice cream sales become more brisk, it will increase sale of ice cream. Thus, the temperature is related to the number of visitors and sale of ice cream, right? Relation is there between the temperature, rise in the temperature and ice cream sale and the visitors in the hill station. Are you supporting that? Supporting or not? So temperature is closely related with the sale of ice cream and number of visitors in the hill station, definitely. Similarly, as the supply of tomatoes increases in your local mandi means a bazaar or a market, okay, its price drops. So supply will create a trouble here. What is that? Price of the commodity will decrease. Clear? Your supply increased as a result of that. Price of the commodity decreased. When the local harvest starts reaching the market, the price of tomatoes drops from precisely can say that it is a 40 kilogram to rupees 4 kilogram or even less. Clear? So, the rate, because of the harvest, a good harvest in the locality, the price of tomato that steadily decreased from rupees 40 to 4 per kilogram. The supply is related to the price. Clear? There is a relationship between the supply and the price. Already we studied that in microeconomics. There is a clear connection is there that between the price and supply. Clear or not? And demand and supply, right? Yes or no? So relation is there. So the same thing we are discussing here too. Okay. The supply is related to the price. Correlation analysis is a means of examining such relationships systematically. It deals with the questions such as, so basically the correlations dealing number of questions. What are those questions? Is there any relationship between two variables? Okay. Is there any relationship between two variables? Related to the supply and price, we know that a relationship is there. Supply increased. As a result of that, price decreased. Clear relation is there. Okay. Next one, the summer heat rises. As a result of that, visitors in the hill stations increased. Relation is there. Sale of ice cream also increased. Relation is there. Strictly related or connected. Okay. So, here, integral part of the theory of demand, which you will study in class 12, next year you will study that. Low agricultural productivity is related to low rainfall. Yes or no? low agricultural productivity, okay, or low agricultural production is related with low rainfall. Connection is there or not? Is there, right? For agriculture, water is necessary. So if there is no rainfall or low rainfall, basically it will adversely affect. Sorry, here we want to miss one types of relationship. Okay, so let us look at various types of relationship. The relation between movement in quantity demanded and price of the commodity is an integral part of the theory of demand, which you will study in class 12. Low agricultural productivity is related to the low rainfall. Such examples of relationship may be given a cause and effect interpretation. Okay, cause and effect interpretation. Clear? Okay, this happened because of one reason. That's what cause and effect. Clear? One thing is happened because of some other particular reasons. Clear? Next one. The relation between the arrival of migratory birds in a sanctuary, okay, bird sanctuary, and the birth rate in the locality cannot be given any cause and effect interpretation, right? So, in one season, number of birds will come to our locality or a particular sanctuary in our area. Clear or not? A bird sanctuary. Clear? But that cannot be connected with the birth rate in the locality. Clear? There is no connection. Birds coming to our locality and birth rate increase in our locality, there is no connection between. Or decreasing the birth rate, there is no connection between. Right? So there is no cause and effect. Clear? The relationship are simply coincidence. The relationship between size of the shoes and money in your pocket is another such example. Right? Size of the shoes and money in your pocket. Right? Clear or not? So if you are going to shop and your size of your shoes is just imagine it is size 8 or 9 clear, and you ask the price for the shoes. The shopkeeper told it is rupees 1000 rupees. Then you ask the size of the shoes, number 10 or 11. Shopkeeper told the same rate, 1000 rupees. Your size is 9. Okay, you ask the price of the shoes, it is 9000. Sorry, 10. Sorry, 1000. Right, and at the same time you observed that size 10 also 10,000, sorry, 1,000, size 11 also 1,000. Then will you choose number 11 instead of number 9 because it's somewhat bigger? Will you choose it or not? Price is the same. Your real size is 9. Just think. Okay, your size is 9. Okay, price for that pair of shoes, it is 1,000 rupees. The same shop you observed, size 10, bigger than your shoes. Size 11, that also bigger than your shoes. Right? Price is the same, 1,000 only. Then tell me, will you choose number 10 or 11 instead of 9? Never. Right? Will you choose or not? We choose means we can say that something is missing. Okay, mentally not that good. Right? Because we don't want that. We are not that time. We are not thinking about the price of the commodity. The apt one. Okay, the suitable one for us. Clear or not? Okay, just so relationships are there. You can think in different ways there. Okay, so even if relationship exists, they are difficult to explain it. In other instance, a third variable. Okay, a third variable impact on two variables may give rise to the relation between the two variables. Okay, so a third variable can influence or can create impact on other two variables. We'll discuss about that. Here, brisk sale of ice cream may be related to a high number of deaths due to drowning. Can you connect that? What is that? What is that? Brisk, a huge sale or high sale of ice creams may be related to a higher number of deaths due to drowning. Any connection is there? Number of people dying because of their drowning in water, and as a result of that, ice cream sale increased. Can you connect that? No chance at all, right? Okay, so remember, okay. So the victims are not drowned due to eating of ice cream. First of all, you have to understand that. Okay, the people, those who died here, not drawn because of eating ice cream. Okay, ice cream is there. So rising temperature lead to brisk sale of ice cream. That is connected, right? Rising temperature lead to brisk sale of ice cream. Moreover, large number of people start going to swimming pool to beat the heat. Clear? Understanding or not? A large number of people, they started going to the swimming pools to beat the heat. So this might have raised the number of deaths of by drowning, not the ice cream, right or not? So number of people dying also increased. The death of people due to drowning is increased at the same time. Sale of ice cream also increased. We cannot connect all these two things. One common reason is there. What is that? The hike in the temperature. Temperature rise. Okay. As a result of that, a number of people they started moving to the swimming pool. As a result of that, they drowned and died. Clear. The same time, number of people purchased ice cream also. Clear. That is the connection here. Okay. Thus, temperature is behind the high correlation between the sale of ice cream and the death due to drowning. So, temperature is the common one that is made this problem drowning up, death of people because of drowning. Okay, and that's not a problem here. The high sale of ice cream also. Clear or not? Is that idea clear? So one third variable also able to create its impact on other two variables. Here, what does correlation measure? So correlation studies and measures the direction and intensity of relationship among variables. Correlation measures covariations, not causation. Correlation should never be interpreted as implying cause and effect relation. The presence of correlation between the two variables x and y, so we will discuss that in detail. Okay, x and y simply means that when the value of one variable is found to change in one direction. So, one change in one variable can make changes in the direction of the other variable, right? For example, supply increased, as a result of that, the price decreased. Inverse relation, right? Opposite directions. Clear? Supply decreased, as a result of that, the price increased. Here also, opposite, inverse relation, right or not? Opposite movement. Clear? Demand of the goods increased, so price also increased. Clear? Same direction movement, right? Clear? Demand of the product decreased, price of the commodity also decreased. Same direction. So, change in one variable is able to create changes in the direction of the another variable. Clear? Is that idea clear? Okay. Just understand that. Okay. Here, the value of the other variable is found to change either in the same direction or in the opposite direction. So, in the same direction we can say that it is a positive change. If it is in a negative, the opposite direction we can call it as a negative change. But in a definite way, for simplicity we assume here that the correlation, if it exists, is linear. A straight line might be. Okay, that is, the relative movement of the two variables can be represented by drawing a straight line on a graph paper. Okay, linear correlation. Clear? Understand? Okay, hope these ideas are clear, and we will continue in the next class. So remember, types of correlation on which we have to start in the next class. Remember one thing, you read the textbook clearly and understand the things there. I already told you that examination is too close to us there. Okay, so every day what are the things we are learning in the classroom, want to learn it properly. Okay, homeworks, classworks, want to complete in time. Still I can say that a number of students, yesterday's homework so far and not submitted. Some students are there regularly, they are doing the work. I am appreciating them. I am using this opportunity to appreciate them. Regularly they are doing. If answer is wrong also, they will complete the task. Okay. So answer is wrong, that is another thing. Maybe slightly erased because of the calculation. But they are completing the task. Okay. And appreciating them. So error is human, right or not? It may happen. Clear? If we say error is means, I will say that correct it, check it again. Okay. Clear or not? So don't feel anything bad. I simply told I appreciating you people those who completing the task. Some are there still today single homework also not completing and sending that. Okay, listen carefully. Okay, you are the creator of your own destiny. You are the creator of your own destiny, and all powers are with you. You can do anything and everything. So remember these two ideas in your mind. This both given by or made by Swami Vivekananda. Okay, I already told you people, right? Remember these two proverbs, these comments always. Okay guys, we will meet in the next class. Thank you very much.